Good day and welcome to this grow along video where we are going to be sowing courgettes. We're only going to be doing yellow courgettes this year, and it's only because I like the yellow ones. I don't really think they truly taste any different. I think the mind tricks us into thinking they are a little bit sweeter, but I don't really think they are. But I love the look of them, so that is what we are going to be sowing and growing. This series, or this video rather, forms part of our Grow Along series, where you can grow along with us and sow and grow with us. So let's get down to it. Which ones are we going to be doing? The seeds we've got are both from Pennard Plants. We sourced them at the back end of last year. We got quite ahead with our seed buying last year. We're going to be doing a golden yellow zucchini, which is here. I love the little cartoony things that they have on them. Look at that. And we're also going to do another one called Aurelia. Again, a little that character. There are, how many seeds are there in here? We've got 8 of the Aurelia and we've got 12 of the golden yellow. So I'm going to sow 4 golden yellow and 3 of the Aurelia. I'm going to be sowing them in modules like we did with Jane and Jim's melons the other day. And I'm really finding that using these modules, a really good root system develops. However, if you want to sow them individually in pots, please do that. I think it's better to sow them in pots rather than seed trays, though if you do want to sow them in seed trays, that is your choice. As per usual, we're going to be using multi-purpose compost. We're not using a specialist seed sowing compost, though if you wish to do that, that's your decision too. First of all, let's show you the seeds, which I think will look very, very similar. These are the Aurelia yellow and the golden yellow zucchini, which is an American variety. These are the modules that we're going to be using for the seed sowing of the courgettes. We've used these 4 modules to sow melons already, which we did the other day. And you'll see that in our Saturday segment of A Week at the Plot. I'll put a link to that here. And we're going to sow these 7 today. As I say, 3 are going to be the Aurelia yellow, and then these 4 are going to be golden yellow zucchini. The first thing I'm going to do is fill up the modules with multi-purpose compost. I've now filled these up with multi-purpose compost. These are the Aurelia yellow, just going in about 1.5–2 centimeters. I'm going to put my label there so I know that anything in front of that is Aurelia yellow. And then grabbing my seeds for the golden yellow. And you can see I've put the name there. I'm putting it that way so I know anything in front of that is golden yellow. So I know anything in front of here is Babs, which is the nickname for the melons. Anything here, Pamela, is nickname for the melons. Anything here is Aurelia yellow, which is our courgette. And anything here is golden yellow. So I'm quite clear on what is in each module. Now, I'm just going to close those up a bit, make sure the seed is well in contact with the compost. And I'm going to need to grab some more compost to put on top. Let me do that and then I'll be back with you. They now need a good water. These will be staying in the polytunnel. Though if you did want to do this outside under a lid, you can do that too. I'm just giving the melons a extra bit of water because they haven't had any for a few days. And now I'm adding propagator lid, though I'm going to leave the vents open because we're due a very hot day. There we are. That is the seed sown. And what I'm hoping is that these will all germinate. If they don't, we've got plenty of time to put a second sowing in. It's not really worth doing successional sowings of courgettes in my view, though if you wish to do that, you can. Once they get going, they usually have a long period of harvesting, and you'll be harvesting these hopefully till the end of September or even into October, depending upon your weather where you are. Now, what I'm expecting is these to grow on and develop into plants that I will be able to put out in early May. We're generally free of frosts here by early May. However, if there is going to be a frost, I will make sure I fleece the plants after they have gone out. They will stay in the polytunnel. At the moment, you can see they're under the propagator lid, but in a couple of weeks from maybe mid-April onwards, I'll be looking at the weather on a daily basis and seeing what the night temperatures are, because I don't want these to get too hot and grow too quickly. So I will be keeping the compost moist and not wet. If your compost is too wet, these seeds can easily rot away. So please make sure it's not too wet. It's best to be just on the sort of drier side of moist than on the wetter side of moist. We will pick up the planting out of these in a segment of a week at the plot, as I say, around early May. If you are going to be growing along with us, then please do let us know what varieties you are sowing and growing. And also a quick thought about seed saving. You can save seeds from courgettes, but they very easily cross-pollinate with other varieties. And you may have seen in the news last year about some seeds that were sold where the fruit of the courgette was actually poisonous, and that will have come about from bad cross-pollination. So I think it's best, unless you are growing completely on your own area of land away from other people, I think it's best to buy fresh seed each year, and that way you can determine which variety you really like as well. If you are going to save seed and you have lots of land around you where nobody else is growing courgettes, then make sure you keep them well away from other cucurbitas, which are squash and pumpkins, and other varieties potentially like melons and cucumbers as well. And only sow and grow one variety, because if you sow two varieties within about 50 meters of each other, because they're going to be flowering at the same time, there is easily going to be cross-pollination between the two. So if you want to save seed, try a particular variety and see how you get on with that. But if you're on an allotment and you've got other people who are growing courgettes around you, which is very, very likely, buy fresh seed each year. Okay. We'll pick up on other things with courgettes later in the growing season. Yeah, I'm going to tell you one other thing now. Most courgette plants will have male and female flowers on them. You can tell a female flower because it has a little sort of mini courgette behind the flower. The male flower does not have any shape behind the flower. With a male flower, you have the flower and you have a stem. With the female flower, you have a flower, you have a mini courgette, though it is the same for cucumbers, and then the stem. What courgettes tend to do is they tend to put out male flowers first, because then they test whether there's enough pollinators around to actually pollinate the female flowers. And if they find that there are enough pollinators around, they'll then put out the female flower. Also, flowers for a courgette can often close up at night, and it may actually trap a pollinator inside of it, which is actually what the courgette wants, because it wants to be pollinated, obviously on the female flower, because that little courgette in this case, once it's pollinated, once its flower is pollinated, it will start swelling and growing, and that's what you're going to eat. Okay, I am going to leave it there now, and we'll pick up on other things about courgettes as and when as part of our A Week at the Plot videos. See you very soon. Bye.